welcome to Life of the Party. Thank you everyone for coming to this studio, and thank you out there that are watching on GNAT today. This is Life of the Party. I am Chef Amy Chamberlain from the Perfect Wife Restaurant and the Other Woman Tavern. Here on my show, we meet super cool people and we cook groovy food that you can make for your friends too. So I'd love to bring out my friend Hadley and learn a little bit about her. Come on out, Hadley. Have a seat. My guest tonight is Hadley Stock from Pink Boot Farm. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Sure. Tonight we're going to make some baked potatoes.
We are, yeah. Baked potatoes with all sorts of good local stuff. We've got local potatoes, sweet potatoes, pork, bacon, kale, all grown and raised right here in Vermont.
A little slice of heaven.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
A lot of the things are from other farms, but the pork and the bacon are from your farm, right?
It is, yeah. Me and my husband and my kids have a farm. We have right now 36 pigs, 34. Wow. But we've got 5 sows that are bred and expecting a whole lot more pigs really soon, so yeah.
Does the pig season, is there a call for smaller pigs as pig roast season comes? Do you do a lot of that stuff?
Yeah, we do a fair amount of pig roasts. We sort of try to keep a constant cycle of different sized pigs all the time. We don't have a lot of piglets in the winter because it's cold.
Yeah.
This winter especially, so yeah.
So the male and the female don't snuggle at night, and that's why we don't have any pigs?
we keep the male and the female in their own separate pens, so there's no snuggling. We try to keep the snuggling to the minimum in the wintertime.
Well, you were telling me today that you've been to school for a couple different things. You're not only a farmer, you've got degrees in other things.
I went to art school for ceramics. I went to beauty school for nail technician, esthetician, and hair. And I've never been to school to be a farmer or a chef, but that somehow ended up being what I am. So,
and how did that come about?
When I got married, my husband is a big eater. I cooked him breakfast a few times, and in one breakfast he could polish off a pound of bacon and a dozen eggs, and I sort of thought, we need to get some pigs and chickens. It's going to get expensive, and that's what we did. And a couple chickens turned into a couple more, and pigs turned into a few more, and here we are.
It's great.
Yeah, yeah.
And now that's what's paying your bills.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It is. It's totally awesome. It's a good time.
That's great.
Keeps us busy.
I bet.
Yeah.
And now it's April and you're sugaring. You make maple syrup also?
We do. We make a lot of maple syrup. We do it all with buckets, very traditional. We do a wood-fired. We don't use an RO. We boil raw sap. We have 700 buckets out right now. We're up to 161 and 3/4 gallons of syrup. Yeah, it's exciting. It's fun.
Oh my gosh. And your goal is 200 gallons, you said?
Yeah, I mean, I think 200 or more. Last year we made 317 gallons. Yeah.
Wow.
Last year we had a lot more taps, so this year it's a little bit slower and smaller for us.
And you said the sugaring season seems to be a little bit shorter?
It's quick this year.
Yeah.
It looks like Wednesday it's going to be over.
That's amazing, and you can figure that out.
Yeah. Cold. If it's not cold at night,
yeah,
you're out of luck. So.
And you love to cook?
I love to cook. I do. I'm from a Southern family. My mom's from the South. My dad's from the South. There's just something about, it's just in my blood. I love to cook, and I love to cook for people, lots of people. I can't cook a small meal. I always cook huge.
Well, that's good. Lucky for us tonight.
Yeah.
So when you're not on your farm raising pigs and gathering buckets of syrup and raising your 2 daughters and being Mike's wife, you're also running your own food service.
Yeah.
Doing your farm store at Rachel's.
Yeah, I've got Pink Boot Farm Store, where I sell locally farmed, raised, and produced foods, ingredients, and then I also cook farm-to-table prepared dinners, lunches, breakfasts, the whole nine. It's pretty awesome.
Pretty much everything you use is local.
Yeah.
Right? You like travel around and
yeah, I go from farm to farm and pick stuff up.
What farms do you go to?
I've got some of the farmers here with us tonight from Laughing Child Farm. They grow these amazing sweet potatoes. I go to Kilpatrick Family Farm, which is right over the border in Granville, New York. They have amazing produce. Then there's Lewis Waite Farm, which is also in New York. They have great beef products. I'm all over the place.
That's
everywhere.
great. I mean, that shows a lot of pride, determination, and just get-to-itiveness that you'll actually go around to get all these great ingredients, because I don't really know if there's anyone else out there doing that.
Yeah, I think it's important to know the people who are raising your food.
I totally agree.
It's good to know what's going in your belly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that my farmers come to my back door in the summertime and they bring me big baskets of stuff that they just picked, and it really makes a difference.
Absolutely,
for sure.
It's awesome.
And this time of year, it's hard to get local food, and that you're driving around to source all of this stuff and to make food with it is really great for this town. I'm sure that everyone that lives in this town is grateful for what Hadley is doing for local farmers and our bellies.
Yes.
And our energy and happiness.
Yeah, and our local economy, that's important too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keeping those farmers going.
Yeah, because without them, what do they say? No farmers, no food.
No farms, no food. Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, you're farming a lot. It's great. So I'm really excited to cook with you, and I think it would be fun to get back there, and we're gonna make some chili with her pork and her bacon. You're eating on your tables this evening popcorn that is popped in bacon fat from the bacon we cooked. So enjoy that, and we'll be right back, and we'll be in the kitchen. So Hadley, here we are.
Here we are.
We're making our toppings for the baked potato bar.
Yeah, we've got all sorts of stuff. Look at it all.
Yeah.
This is like one of my go-to meals because I have some really picky eaters in my family. I usually end up cooking 4 dinners every night, which is exhausting, especially after cooking all day. So I came up with this. I found that if my kids get to make their own, so to speak, dinner, they're much more likely to eat it than if I just put it all on a plate for them. I have one who doesn't like it when her food's touching. I have another one, there's all these little things. So I came up with this baked potato bar because I always have potatoes in the house. I always have bacon, pork, cheese, sort of throw all these things together. It doesn't take too much time, and then everybody gets to make their own. I always end up with a big salad with some potatoes and stuff on top of it. Everybody makes their own individual dinner, and it's really fun.
Yeah.
Hands-on. So we're gonna start with making some chili sauce because potatoes and chili are awesome together. So I, being a pig farmer, always have lots of pork fat. I have bacon fat, but I also render my own lard. So this is lard from my pigs, and I think it gives a pretty good flavor, and is it's kind of cool. It's it's from my farm. It's not from a grocery store. It's good stuff. So I let that melt a little bit, and we're gonna make some chili sauce and sweat some onions. Some pork, just get some good stuff going.
That's good stuff.
This is ground pork from my farm.
You gave me some of the lard the other day, and we cooked our onions and potatoes in it for breakfast, and it was amazing.
It's really good. I like using different kinds of fats for different things because they all lend different flavors. You told me you like using duck fat for your potatoes. I love duck fat.
Yeah, maybe you should get some ducks.
We've tried with ducks.
Yeah. What happened?
Snapping turtles. It's really sad. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they eat them?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the actual?
It's hard to watch.
Oh my
you see
goodness.
this
Cute little
pulled under. No.
Aflac.
Yeah. It's no good. We've tried. I think we'll stick to pigs.
So you have a pond on your property?
We do, yeah. All of our pigs have access to the pond, so they get lots of mud, and you wouldn't believe it, but pigs are big swimmers. We learned that the hard way. You have to fence all the way around the pond, or you have loose pigs.
Oh my gosh, so they would like swim to the other side and all of a sudden be free.
Oh yeah. We had one, our original sow, her name was Annie. She was very, very pregnant one time, and we came out and she was missing. And she was like a hippopotamus. She's just sitting there with her nose, the tip of her nose sticking out and the tips of her ears, and that was it. She just found a nice warm, or nice cool little spot.
Where the spring was coming up or something?
Just hanging out.
Oh my gosh, that would be so much fun to see. We need a Vermont zoo. You know, people could come.
Just come to West Pollitt. I have a Vermont zoo.
All right.
Come check it
Hear
out.
that, everyone?
Yeah.
Well, you want to let that cook a little and maybe start the...
So now we're going to do some cheese sauce, which I like to make with bacon fat because, you know, again, I'm a pig farmer.
Why buy butter when you've got bacon fat?
I love cooking with bacon fat. This has got all these nice little chunks of bacon in it. So I do a little, I'm not very much of a measurer. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And I like to put a little butter in with my cheese sauce too, because butter's delicious. Right?
Yeah. Butter is my favorite fat. Simply because you can spread it on just about anything.
Yeah. So let that stuff get all nice and melty.
Melting that.
That's good stuff. And I've got this this flour I sell in my store. It's farmer ground flour. It's from the Finger Lakes region of New York. It's not totally local, but it's great stuff. It's organic and small batch.
Like those girls from Long Island that we met.
Yeah, yeah, just like
Cool.
that. Yeah. So I like to mix it so it's about the consistency of wet sand, we decided today,
Yeah.
right?
So you need enough flour in there to absorb the fat. but
Fat
not
and
so
flour.
much. Maybe one more.
One more.
All right.
And then once that's all stirred together,
See that? Let me show the camera. That's the consistency of wet sand.
then
I'm
we
gonna
do
cook
some
that.
milk in there. And then cheese. Once that's all
Yeah,
stirred
let's let that
together.
come up and start to thicken a little bit. My gosh, I've never had cheese sauce made with bacon fat, and I think it's going to be my new favorite thing.
I love making macaroni and cheese with this, actually.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, throw a
Duncan
little
would
extra.
love that.
Throw a little extra bacon in there at the end.
We've had homemade macaroni and cheese for so long at our house that the other day, I dare say, I made him Kraft macaroni and cheese as a treat.
Yeah.
It's a treat.
Yeah.
And I said we
absolutely.
were having macaroni and cheese with our, Vermont grown steaks or whatever. And,
Yeah.
he got to the table and he went, "Oh, it's Kraft!"
That's
so excited.
That's how
terrible.
our family is. It's a treat to have a boxed mac and cheese
Yeah.
or
It's funny.
something like that.
I remember when I was little, my parents would go out to dinner and we'd get TV dinners. And it was the coolest thing.
The best. I know. Sometimes you just gotta have it. Then we're gonna add some.
whisk it,
We've
you
got
can
some
add.
cheddar here.
Yeah, this is Plymouth cheddar. It's really sharp
Yeah,
and
I love
delicious.
that sharp cheddar.
We were serving these in our omelets at brunch yesterday, and everyone thought it was Parmesan because it's so sharp.
Yeah. And then I've got this. We've got this quark from Jersey Girl Farm in.
It's near Springfield, like Chester, I
Chester,
guess.
yeah. And this is great stuff. It's kind of the consistency of ricotta, I'd say, but it's got a nice sort of creamy. I just love it. It's so versatile.
Yeah.
You can do it on anything.
And it will never separate. You can put it in lots of stuff, and it just kind of thickens and adds texture.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So now my pork is getting nice and browned. The onions are getting good and cooked.
And sometimes you put garlic in there, but I forgot to bring garlic.
Forgot the garlic. So I've got this teeny tiny spice company of Vermont chocolate chili. It's a nice little blend of great spices, and it's a little spicy, so I don't put too much in, just a bit, but it gives this stuff a really nice flavor.
Show 'em that. We just put a little bit in there. It's really, really spicy.
And then I do chili powder.
Let me try to go from, there you go.
And cumin, which Amy and I think smells a little bit like armpits, but still tastes good.
Yeah. It smells like armpits, doesn't taste like armpits. But someone who I live with who's 12, who will remain nameless, just started having cumin smelly armpits. I laid down next to him and I said, "You smell like Indian food." I went out and bought him some deodorant the next day.
Then tomatoes. So I've got canned crushed tomatoes I add in there, and just let this simmer while you finish everything else. And this is great. I like to put this when it's left over in omelets in the morning. Chili omelets or scrambled eggs.
Well, you know, Joy made me that breakfast that morning with your pork, and it was the most delicious thing I've ever had. It was just pork and eggs and sweet potatoes and kale and onions, I think. And I wish I could eat like that every day, but I'd have to get up at 5:30 in the morning.
Well, I like to cook. I like these sweet potatoes from Laughing Child Farm. They're organic. They're amazing. They're grown right around the corner from my house. I like to make a big batch of them at the beginning of the week. Get a
And they're
hotel
cooked?
pan. I cover them with olive oil or
Bacon
pork fat. Stick them in the oven. They're cooked. They're ready. So in the morning, when you don't have time to make a sweet potato, you just peel the skin off. There it is. It's delicious.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
So you go to Laughing Cow Farm to pick this stuff up, and Kilpatrick Farm, and these farms both have greenhouses, right? Or does Laughing Child Farm have a big root cellar?
Yes. Yeah. You sort of get the potatoes when you can with Laughing Child Farm. I have a little hoard of these because I know they start to run out after a while, and I can't live without them. So
All right,
I
so
tapped into my personal stash for this. So you guys are pretty lucky.
Awesome.
And I've got my potatoes. I've found a really fun way to make baked potatoes really quick. Can we put some more cheese in there, make it cheesier?
Yeah.
I cut them in half, cover them in fat. Again, the cut side, brush it with fat, put it cut side down on a cookie sheet in a hot oven, and it cooks super fast instead of having to wait for a whole, baked potato, which can take some time.
Or throwing it in the microwave. I know
I don't
people
have
do
a
that.
microwave.
Sometimes customers come to the restaurant and ask for a baked potato, and I say, "I'm sorry, I don't have baked potatoes." "You'll just throw it in the microwave." I'm like, "No way."
Yeah, we don't have a microwave anymore.
That's
And
smart.
I've got more bacon that I'm going to add to my chili because
Bacon makes everything better. Bacon and butter, what would we do without them?
yeah, exactly.
So should we add a little salt to this? I don't think it needs it.
I know the bacon has enough salt in
Yeah,
it, I
and the
think, and the
cheese.
cheese. It's sort
Yeah.
of
That's good.
takes care of itself.
I think let me just show that. That is some thick, serious sauce.
Yeah, that's some cheese sauce.
So we're going to, I think we can turn that off now.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we made some garlicky kale,
Just right here.
which is just kale that we chop up and saute with some garlic.
And olive oil
And
I
olive
used.
oil.
That's a sacrilege, I guess. Should have turned around and gotten the lard out of the jar, but I was in my kitchen and I just did what I normally do and reach up for the bottle of olive oil.
Yeah. Well, we'll let you
there's
get
any-
by with a pass this time.
If there's any vegetarians in the room, I'll be grateful, I guess.
Yeah.
It would be nice if they tasted the bacon and were suddenly transformed into meat eaters.
Yeah.
At least for tonight.
I'd be in favor of that.
Eat more pig.
Eat more pork. Exactly.
All right. You think that's ready to
I
go?
think this is good, yeah. And then I guess that's it.
Yeah,
It's
talk
pretty
about
quick.
what else. Talk about your jalapenos there.
So yeah, I've got some
I'm gonna grab the potatoes.
pickled jalapenos that I made last summer at the very end of my jalapeno harvest. That the kids don't love the jalapenos so much, but I do, and I like to have those as an option. They've got some local garlic, local jalapenos, all good stuff.
Oh, nice. Do you have a vegetable garden too?
I have a small vegetable garden. Well, it's actually a really big vegetable garden, but I can manage a small amount of it.
Yeah.
My husband is a go big or go home kind of guy. I asked him for a small manageable garden, and he tilled a patch. It's 110 by 80. Nice and manageable.
Yeah,
so I put a few boxes in there, and I can handle some of them. So.
And do you grow the jalapenos?
I do. Yep, we do that. Asparagus, snap peas, beans.
Wow.
That's about all I can handle. And kale.
And that's good seasonality.
Yeah.
A little bit at each season.
Yeah, a little bit of this and that. My philosophy is I'll do the pigs and I'll let somebody else do the vegetables.
Yeah, and then you can trade, right?
Exactly.
That's what you guys all do.
Yeah, exactly. And then I also have this Gamel Garden skyr. Have you ever had this stuff?
No.
It's yogurt, so it's an Icelandic version of yogurt, and they put rennet in it, which is what they use to make cheese. So it's really thick. They make a maple variety.
Yes.
It's like crazy good.
I think I've had that.
Yeah,
They have it at the health
so
food
it's really
store.
nice and thick, and it's a good consistency like sour cream. And I like to use this
Well, that'll be
in
part
place
of our
of sour
toppings
cream.
bar.
Yeah, so that's part of our toppings. Here's our potatoes. I like doing this because they get
look
this
at
nice
that.
caramelized, really
Yeah, and these did too.
yummy, crunchy
They're a little
potatoes. So we've got sweet potatoes, we've got purple potatoes, we've got yellow potatoes. These came from Kilpatrick Family Farm, Laughing Child Farm, and
Rocco Family
Family Farm, which is in Sandgate, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's something you can eat all year round if it's local.
And I love these potatoes, they all have a really different flavor.
They do.
These yellow ones from Kilpatrick are so sweet. I think that's why they caramelize so well.
Yeah, they must.
They're just awesome. I love them. I'm a big fan of them.
That's great. All right, well, we're going to prove your theory here and invite the girls up. Amelia and Brantley.
You guys want to come up and make some potatoes? Get you guys a plate. Here you go, Niels. So there's sweet potatoes and regular potatoes. You guys pick which ones you want. What do you want?
They're hot, though. Be careful.
You want sweet potatoes? One or two? One's good? All right.
Okay. Let me,
You want a
let me
regular
get
one?
some. I'm going to run behind you and
All
get
right.
some ladles, okay?
Do you want some kale on it? There's kale, there's cheese sauce, there's chili sauce, and then there's chili. All right. Do you want it on your potato? All right. All of that. How about you? Kale? A little kale? Do you want it on your potato? Yes?
Ooh,
That's a change.
girl.
All right. What else?
We
Cheese
have-
sauce?
And we have cheese sauce. We have the skyr.
Brantley, you want some cheese? All right. And then there's bacon over here because bacon makes everything better, right? A little sprinkle. What about you, Amelia? You want some bacon? There you go.
Do either of you want the skyr?
Do you guys want some sour cream?
Sure.
Yeah? All right. And some, Amelia? There you go. Okay. That is so impressive.
You guys excited to eat it? Good
All right.
stuff.
Well, we're going to close up here, and then you can go sit down and enjoy it, and we'll all have some of that yummy stuff. Thank you so much for coming up here.
Thanks for coming up,
really
guys.
helped. We will be right back. So, Hadley, that was tons of fun.
That was really fun.
Obviously, I know how to make bacon fat. You got to cook bacon, and you got to eat bacon, and that's all fun. How did you render the pork fat? Where does that come from?
Well, I have lots of pork fat because I have lots of pigs. All I do is chop it up into chunks and stick it in a 200-degree oven for a couple of hours. And at the end, all the fat has rendered out. I pour it into mason jars, and what's left is the best part. You get these little crunchy, crispy,
Like
crackling bits. Put that back in the oven for a few minutes with some salt on it. It's even better than bacon popcorn.
Oh
if
my
that's
gosh,
possible.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And at your store, you do sell fat back there?
Yeah, I sell fat back at the store. I also can, if anybody wants some lard, I'd be happy to make it. I just rendered 50 pounds of it the other day. I gave myself a blister cutting it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good idea to sell those little mason jars
Yeah.
of pork fat, because once this show airs all across the nation, they're going to realize how many wonderful things you can do with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I love making pie crusts with lard. That's my favorite.
And I remember you told me you have like the second rendering and the first rendering.
Yeah,
so
you can get a couple of different renderings. So the first one is a lot cleaner. It's the stuff I like to bake with because it doesn't really taste like pork. And then subsequent renderings get a little bit more porky.
is the first rendering firmer than that, or it is?
Yeah, yeah.
And so when you make a pie crust, do you like chop it up and put it in the freezer and then add it?
Yeah, I usually like to freeze it so it stays together a little bit better.
And if you're making a pie and selling it at the store, would you say that it's made with pork fat?
Absolutely, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That,
Some people
that might sell it more,
yeah,
really.
Yeah, it's very vintage,
Yes.
pork fat pie crusts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm dying to try that.
Good.
That'd be great.
Peach pie with a pork fat pie crust.
Oh my God.
So
And a
good.
glass of bourbon on the rocks?
Yeah, yeah.
That's really southern and fun.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
We're going to have a peach pie and bourbon party this summer.
Awesome, sounds good.
Who's bringing ice cream? We're going to have ice cream for dessert with Hadley and Mike's maple syrup on it
That we
tonight.
made yesterday.
And how fresh can you get?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
everything. Thanks for showing me this stuff. Thanks, girls. It was great having you up. Thank you, studio audience. Thank you out there in TV land, and we'll see you all next time on Life of the Party!
Laying down your shirt, who the hell do you think I am? If the moon killed the sun, you think you last to see another day. You probably take your chances and sleep it all away.